Udamaakeryerr, are you there? Right, hold on. I'm not hearing you yet. Can you hear me? Let's see here.
Can you hear me?
Oh, now I can hear you.
How was the audio? It's not picking up.
My audio?
My computer is not picking up, so I'm on the cell phone.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, my internet is kind of shaky right now. What do you see right now? Do you see the flyer?
I see you with the flyer.
Okay. All right. Well, I was trying to just have the flyer, but it worked halfway.
Well, it looks good, but I just can't get it off on my computer. Let me see. And it's not letting me get in.
Yeah, because I got you on here on a computer. I let you already in. I let you in.
Yeah, okay. I'm on the cell phone. On the desktop here. Let me see. Can you see? Can you see? I can't see on the desktop, but I can see you on the computer.
Okay.
I mean, but I can see you on the cell phone.
Yeah, it just says your name on the desktop.
Okay. Do you see me though?
Yeah, I see you in the cell phone.
Okay. All right. Okay. I got to upgrade the browser on the desktop.
Okay.
But I don't know how to do that. I guess I got to do it. How do you upgrade a browser?
Probably go to the Apple Store.
Oh, I see.
Download the upgrade.
All right, because I have the flyer on the computer.
Okay.
Hang on for a minute. Somebody's calling me.
All right.
Udamaakeryerr, can you hear me?
Udamaakeryerr, yes.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
Okay. Music, man. Just let that play for a while, man. Because
Yeah,
I'm holding.
Actually, when you signed on before it was playing, I thought it was playing for the other side. It's not. You have to share.
Very nice. I'm holding my cell phone,
Okay.
so I really can't do any drumming just yet. Let me see if I can get the laptop and get that set up with that. So let the music play for a moment,
Okay.
because that sounded real good, by the way.
World meeting coalition jazz level. Udamaakeryerr.
Udamaakeryerr, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Doing the chair.
Doing the chair, doing the chair. And Hotep, everyone. Greetings, Udamaakeryerr, Anijarak, and peace to everyone that's here in the room. We'd like to welcome you to the first ever and not the last World Media Coalition broadcast. This is the Wep Renpet, Khametic New Year, reclaiming our time and our history to unfold and unveil the lies that have been taught and told to us. And today we start a glorious movement I'd like to welcome you all. I thank you all for being present today. This is an amazing event. I'm very glad we're all here. Tonight's presenters, our guests. The first is Makukuvu Ali Obe, His Excellency. We also have Sutin Net Mut Aset Mauri, who I haven't seen in so long. Blessings, good to see you, good to see you. And we are due to have Nina Womack from the mighty Zulu Nation on with us. So without further ado, I know you've been waiting. The music was great. And this is Jazz Lovers Television Network, so we had some great music. But now to open up the night, we're gonna have Makukuvu Ali Elbe bring us in with some drums.
Doing the chair, Udamaakeryerr.
Doing the chair, Udamaakeryerr. Udamaakeryerr. That was great. So we are gonna get right into it. We are short one person. Nina Womack has not shown up unless she's there and I don't know it. I'd like to get right into the evening. First of all, I want to introduce myself for those who don't know me, I guess, you know. My name is Ahmad Amar Mansour Ali Elbe. I am the son of Makukuvu. I am broadcasting to you from Salvador, Bahia, Brazil, where things are copacetic and cool and peaceful. It is definitely an honor to be here to get started with this event and this movement, because what we are doing is a movement. Like I said, reclaiming our history, reclaiming our time, and reclaiming who we are on this planet is extremely important. I know that this will grow as we continue to broadcast. Our initial goal is to broadcast every 2 weeks. As things grow, we'll be broadcasting every week and bringing new content from different places all over the world. Our brothers and sisters that are in different places all over various continents. Here in Brazil, I'll be bringing you the news. We have some brothers in the United States. We have some brothers in London and brothers and sisters on the continent of Africa and in different countries. So we hope to bring you worthy content and things to make you think, and things that you can share with your peoples and your peers and your community around you, so that we can continue to build and strengthen our spirit, our hearts, our minds, our emotions, and our physical bodies, so that we can survive what is going on the planet. I will pass the mic on to the Elder Makakuvu. If you want to say, introduce us, bring us in with a prayer, and go into what we are celebrating today. Amply qualified and great to be our first broadcast on the Wep Renpet in the year 6260 Sma Tawi. It is now the age of enlightenment and moving into redemption. It is time to reclaim who we are. Pass the mic to you, sir.
Mbugula nazima atu mwazi umutu. Mbugula nazima atu mwazi umutu. Go before the Most High, standing in His name. Mbugula nazima atu mwazi umutu. Udamaakeryerr, Lion of the New Dawn. O gracious Heavenly Father and Divine Heavenly Mother Mut, called before the Most High, standing in His name. Mbugula nazima atu mwazi umutu. O gracious Heavenly Father and Divine Heavenly Mother Mut, clear our mind of debris and purify our heart. Strengthen us in prayer, Almighty creative forces. Strengthen us in prayer and quiet our mind. Give peace to our heart, so your children pray with a clean mind and a sincere heart. Udamaakeryerr, Lion of the New Dawn. Mbugula nazima atu mwazi umutu. O sacred mother of creation, Sutanet Mut, divine creative mother of all living things, who breathes the life breath of our men, the breath from which our ancestors worship you. Your children seek the warmth of your bosom now. Send down your glory, the glory of 900,000 trillion million angels, to shield, guide, heal, and protect us into Amenta, paradise, the land of our men, beyond the waters of Nu. O Mother of Dawn, lift us, so our harmony sings praises unto you. As the Neteru and the ancestors walk with us through the healing fields of Amenta, along the golden pathway that winds through the purple garden, the garden whose flowers have a fragrance of a healing nature, beckoning us unto the bosom of the Most High. O Mother of Dawn, the face of Undakim, the sun is your smile, the rain your tears to water a dry earth, the dryness of mind of our people, a dry earth, the dryness of the hearts of our people, a dry earth, the dryness of the disease of self-hatred that your people beckon to be healed from. O Mother of Dawn, your children ask this in thy name. Udamaakeryerr, Lion of the New Dawn. Mbugula nazima atu mwazi umutu. Doing the chair, Udamaakeryerr. Thank you. You still hear me?
Yes, we still hear you.
Okay, good. Good.
So, since Nina Womack hasn't arrived,
so would you like me to speak about the Wep Renpet for a moment, and then we introduce Mut or Set?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. The Wep Renpet is Kemetic term from the Meduna chair. The Meduna chair you know as hieroglyphics. Wep Renpet is the new year. It means new year. So when N says Wep Renpet Nefer, that means Happy New Year. And Wep Renpet Nefer 6,260 is based upon the rising of Sopdet, Uben Sopdet. Sopdet is what is known as the Sirius Star by the Greeks. So many of you know that when the Greeks invaded Kemet and the Romans invaded Kemet, they started changing the names of everything. So they taught us that the ancient tongue of our ancestors, the Meduna chair, is called hieroglyphics, because the true name is Meduna chair, which means spiritual words. And the chair means spirit, Medu means words. So they changed the name because if our people knew that the language of our ancient ancestors was originally called spiritual words, you would not need the Bible. Because the Bible is written from the Meduna chair, much of it. In any event, as you heard Amar Mansour said, Wep Renpet Nefer 6,260 Smai Taiwi, 2 words, Smai, S-M-I-A-I, Taiwi, which means in antiquity, the unification of the upper and lower Kemet. Lower Kemet was closer to the Nile Hapi Delta. Hapi is the original name of the Nile, so-called Nile River. Upper Kemet is deep within the Hapi going towards Sudan, Nubia. That's Upper Kemet. Lower Kemet, closer to the Mediterranean Sea. In this day and time, Smatawi means the unification of the upper and lower consciousness with the K, Udamaakeryerr. With that, I want to briefly speak about what Sopdet, or the Sirius Star, means to the new year. Sopdet is a star that comes around once a year. Sopdet begins to rise on July 25th over the Giza Plain and the Ab Murkhut. Ab, Great Murkhut Pyramid. So it begins to rise on July 25th and ascends to its apex on August 3rd, which is the actual Wep Renpet, Heru-U Renpet New Year Day, before it begins its descent to disappear by the 9th for another year. So that's what the Wep Renpet is, based upon the rising of Sopdet. Uben Sopdet means Sopdet rising. Uben Sopdet, Sopdet rising, Wep Renpet Nefer, Smatawi, 6,260. Our ancestors noticed that that star came around once a year, and they noticed it over around 4,400 BCE. That's what gives us the current day and time of 6,260. And with that, I want to say that this program is dedicated to the legacy of Himnacher Tepi, Rikafra, of the Het Nacher Shesheni Hech Hanam Kera Amin-Ra, the temple of the white and gold lotus, shrine to Amin-Ra. And I'd like to, at this time, introduce his Khamet, Mut or Set Mauri Amen, of the Het Nacher Shesheni Hech Hanam Kera Amin-Ra, temple of the white and gold lotus. the legacy of Heru-U Udamaakeryerr, line of the New Dawn. Are you there, Set?
Set whenever you're ready. Unmute.
Unmute your mic. Turn your mic on. Can you unmute here?
No, I can only ask you to unmute. It should be on the bottom left corner.
The bottom left corner, all the way to the bottom to the left, you'll see a microphone. To the left, at the bottom of the computer, or Set. Did you find it yet? At the bottom of the corner, at the bottom of the computer, all the way to the left, all the way to the bottom, or Set.
Hotep, hotep, hotep.
Okay. The stage is yours.
Udamaakeryerr.
Sebek Dejat, Sebek's journey. On im Aset, art by Aset. A journey where you don't know where the crocodile Sebek will take you, but you best believe it's on an awakening. Preamble, Hotep, welcome. This is a Sebek Dejat, Sebek's journey. Anuk Aset Mauri, Amen. I am Aset, beloved of our men. And some of you will not catch anything I say because it sounds so foreign to you. Some will catch more than others because they study metronome, sounds of the spirit. On my Sebek Dejat, Sebek's journey poetry, and listening to my poetry may not be easy to follow, like when I'm reading Alice Walker poetry. Haven't got her deepness yet. I read her over again so I'll get the essence of her self-expression. 6260 ST, Smai Tai We, Union of the Land, time. August the 3rd, 2020, Gregorian time. Wep Renpet Wep, happy African Khametic New Year. Duau Sa Mauri Omar. Duau Makakuva Ali El Bay. Duau Neteru. Thank you, Neteru. Duau Sesu. Thank you, ancestors. Duau Shemshu M. Amen Ra. Thank you, followers of Amen Ra. Duau. Thank you, Nabu. Thank you, everyone. Duau Him the Chair Tepi Harry Kafra. Duau Him the Chair Tepi Makakuvu Ali El Bay. Anesharak Amen Ra. Homage to thee, Amen Ra. Anuk Dai Tir Net, Amen Ra. I am the power of Amen Ra. Anuk, Amen Ra. Sa, Ha, Sim, Amen Ra, Nanin. May Amen Ra bless and protect us. Hotep, peace. Written and illustrated by Heru-U, copyright 2020. and 5. Pyramid Matrix, Guide to Survival and Success. This book is dedicated to my Sesu ancestors who are waiting for me to ascend. Sim Uja Heru Nebu, strong practice every day is the way to the Bai in Necheru, boat of the Necheru. M him Neche Tepi Harikafra, Necheru Ha, and aka Pyramid Matrix Ha, and to Ma'at M42. That is the 42 laws of Ma'at. Sheminat Happy, the Nile Valley Movement. Uben Kemet, Kemet is rising. Kemet has risen. Uben Sopdet, Sopdet is rising. Sopdet has risen. Sopdet is the star that tells when life begins. Kemet is the oldest culture that teaches us discipline. Hotel, peace. Visualize peace. Mer, love. Love is the only religion. And let's do Kesu too. Yes, rituals. There is a universal vibration that constitutes all matter and energy. That universal vibration was named by the ancient hymnetta of Kemet. The ancient Kemet knew Necher constitute all matter and energy was named Necher. Necheru, Necheru an, Kepra Necheru, change into Necheru. Kepra Sesu, change into the ancestors. Duau Necheru, thank you very much, Necheru. Duau. Him Necher Tepi Heri Kafra Sesu, High Priest Master Kafra wrote Ma'at, truth, vibration, strong, thoughtful concepts and insights of possibilities, and be challenging resistance, awakening to the nature of reality and unreality. Melanin, we love, we keep being. Uja'a, very strong, with rec, knowledge, and conscious connections. A challenging resistance of manipulation, awakening people, knowing that things are going on behind closed doors between those secret societies, worlds we see, worlds we can't, like global government, microchip, and mind control. Herikafra says, Shu, who are we? Rekati Kemeti, Kemetic spiritual scientists. Shida Pu, Hesi, her Ebo. Be calm, Hesi, and believe in the Necheru. Hotek in Hoot, have no fear. We are the Necheru. You're the Necheru. When Necherak, Necheru. Anukdatirnet, Necheru. Anuk Necheru. They will see us through. We will see us through.
Doing the chair.
Wow, doing the tour. Udamaakeryerr. Doing the
Hotel.
tour set. That was amazing.
Duau.
I would like to, since we're honoring Hadi Kafra, I can remember meeting him on several occasions. And it was always very interesting. I remember when I was younger, he would always teach me about Qi Jitsu and Tai Chi. And he would always, demonstrate things to me. And I remember the first time he asked me to hold my hand up so he could throw some of his chi at me. I was like, man, what's this guy doing? I was like, okay, let me see what's going on here. And the first time we did it, I didn't actually feel anything, but it's because my mind wasn't open. And then, you know, he was like, relax and just feel it. And the second time we did it, I was like, oh man, okay, it's something to this. And it was always, he always just intrigued me after that, you know. Also, his relationship with Makakuvu, you know, it was great to see, to receive the knowledge that they passed on, and to see how they interacted with each other and the knowledge they passed on to each other. And from there, I began to realize how important Harikafra and Makakuvu and everything that we were doing, we are doing, is, and you know, how important what we're doing not only is important to us, to you, you know, our elders, and me. I don't know if I'm not young, but I'm not old, but also our next generations. You know, I have 3 sons. My oldest is 15, going on 16. My middle is 14, and my youngest son will be having his first birthday on the 21st. And especially now with this whole pandemic going on, I realize exactly how important it is that we are connected to our true spirit. And, you know, if it wasn't for Makakuvu and Harikafra and how, you know, passionate they are about Kemet and Kemetic science, and all the knowledge that is there, and the Medu Netra, I definitely would not be the man that I am today. I wouldn't have the strength or the courage to stand where I stand, in the country that I am, with the charge that I have here in this moment. I wouldn't have it if it wasn't for Harikafra and everything that he did, and Makakuvu and everything that he's done. And I'm grateful and very thankful, and I say every day, Dua Nature for Makakuvu, Dua Nature for Harikafra, Dua Nature para você, Aset. For you, Aset, I'm sorry, mixing Portuguese and English, but just I truly and greatly appreciate being a part of what I already was a part of, but I was unaware that I was a part of it. And that it strengthens me, and it gives me courage, and it gives me hope to continue to fight in despite of the circumstances that present themselves to my naked eye. But I know deep within me that it doesn't matter what physically is around me. I know that the Nature is in me, and that's really all I need. And, you know, that is an amazing thing. That is more pricely than gold or diamonds or any metal or stone that exists on the face of this planet. And I'm definitely grateful.
Well, I am so glad to see you growing up. I mean, you know, it's so tearful to just to see you, not the little boy anymore, but and to turn in such a fine young man. I'm just so proud to see your accomplishments. Duau Sa Son Omar.
Doing the chair. Is Patasa Chair in the room? Is Patasa?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so? What other guests? What other guests are in the room?
We have Angela Maston. She's around. Di
Welcome.
Kenny. Yafa. Joseph Talton, who came in earlier. Joy Allen is here. The Prime Minister of Ab Murkhut is in. And Mama Charlene is in.
Sister Bridget, Ab Murkhut. If you don't mind, I'd like to speak a little bit more about Udamaakeryerr, the line of the new dawn, and Osset. She mentioned the 42 negative confessions of Ma'at. So let me start with that, because Udamaakeryerr, the root of Udamaakeryerr is Ma'at, Uda Ma'a, as in Ma'at. And that Udamaakeryerr means line of the new dawn. Udamaakeryerr is not a word as such. It's a vibratory frequency. It's a vibratory frequency of spiritual liberation. When and I try not to use the word we, because we is a German word where that means for Jewish men only. So in means us. In knows Ma'at, but most people don't realize that they know Ma'at. Ma'at is the weighing of the heart against the feather of truth. It's judgment. So when the Christians go to church and they talk about God's going to judge you, they are talking about Ma'at. And Ma'at is a woman holding the scales. And that figure and symbol was co-opted by the Europeans to represent the criminal justice system. They put a blindfold on her and took what was on the plates of the scales off. Ma'at means the weighing of the heart of the deceased against the feather of truth. Now, you know the feather is very light. The deeds are written on the heart. So if the heart is full of despicable deeds, it's very heavy. A pure heart, clear our minds of the debris and purify our heart. That's why during that opening prayer, Pata speaks that. Clear our mind and purify our heart. The heart carries the deed of the being of the deceased. The judgment, the weighing of the heart against the feather of truth, takes place in the Wasket Ma'at, the double halls of truth. And Ma'at has 42 negative confessions, from which the so-called 10 commandments are taken from. So when they tell you Moses received the 10 commandments on a tablet of stone, he didn't. The 42 negative confessions are written on the walls of the Murkhut, the pyramid. That's the stones. So here is the confusion. First and foremost, Udamaakeryerr, Ma'at is the root of Udamaakeryerr, line of the new dawn. The lion is our consciousness. The new dawn is the resurrection of our consciousness, Udamaakeryerr, consciousness with the K, cosmological with the K. So the 42 negative confessions, of which the 10 commandments are taken out of, representing Ma'at, pictured as a woman. And the reason why Ma'at is pictured as a woman, first of all, judgment is a beneficence of the grace and mercy of the creative Father, Amen, and the creative Mother, Mu. The grace and mercy of the creative elements allow one to go through judgment to plead your case as to why you did or didn't do in the construct of Ma'at. And the reason why Ma'at is pictured as a woman, because a woman has compassion. She has compassion. That's why the woman is Mut, the mother. The nurturing. So Udamaakeryerr, a line of the new dawn. The line is our consciousness. The new dawn is the resurrection of our consciousness. Udamaakeryerr, the vibratory frequency of spiritual liberation. Now I want to break that a little further to talk about the Smataiwi of 6,260 relative to the Khushite Khametic cosmological mathematical equation that's unfolding right now. So I want to talk about the time constructs. You already have one. The time construct with the K construct of the Wep Renpet Khushite Khametic Cosmological Year of 6,260. The other time construct you already have too, which is 2020. This month of Jehuti on the Greco-Roman calendar is called August. August after Emperor Augustus of Rome, ancient Rome. So when the Ptolemies, the Greeks invaded Kemet, Kemet is the ancient name of modern day Egypt. When they invaded Kemet, they outlawed Ma'at. Now you gotta picture that, folks. First and foremost, Ma'at is judgment based upon the 42 negative confessions, which the 10 Commandments comes out of. So they outlaw that. They outlaw the 42 negative confessions of judgment, the weighing of the heart against the feather of truth. The Greeks, the Ptolemies did that. So now here come the Romans when they invade Kemet. And they changed the time construct. That's why it's 2020 on the Greco-Roman calendar, based upon the birth of a so-called man that may never have really existed. You got to study the Nicene Council under Emperor Constantine to know how Jesus came into existence. So they changed the construct. So 2020 means this. It means that there have been 2 completions of 1,000-year periods, 2 complete millennia. The 20 represents not the 21st century, as they try to propagandize you into believing, but the 20 represents the beginning of the 3rd millennium on the Greco-Roman calendar. Now let's go back a couple of years to 2018. And I want to talk to you about the Khushite Khametic cosmological birth cycle of the Ma'at dawn. The Khushite Khametic cosmological birth cycle of the Ma'at dawn, the dawn of truth. 6,258 is 42 years from 6,300. Talking about numerology. 6 and 3 is 9. 9 represents born because it takes woman from conception to birth 9 months. So 9 represents born. So you have the Khushite Khametic cosmological birth cycle of the Ma'at dawn in the cosmos. 42 years, 6,258 to 6,300 represents the Ma'at quadrant on this construct with the K. 2018 to 2060 is 42 years between 2018 and 2060. Again, you got the Ma'at quadrant. So there you have the mathematical equation. 2018 equals 42 to 2060. 6,258 equals 42 to 6,300. 6 and 3 is 9. 2 and 6 is 8. Build and destroy. So in order for you, for our people, to adapt to the cosmological vibrational frequency that is emanating from the cosmos toward the earth, our people have to change the time construct in their thinking. What do you think the pandemic is? Now let's talk about the prophecy from a maxim. See, people call the original people of this land so-called Native American, so-called Indian. Our people are not Indian, and our people are not Native American. As an indigenous, our people are Amexamites, Almoricanos, Gautama, Chalaki, Algonquin, Ukachag, not Indian. Columbus was lost, thinking he was in India. So if you ascribe to yourself as an Indian from a man who gave you a name, thinking he was in India because he was lost, and you calling yourself that name, that means you lost too. That's what that means. It means you lost on your own land. On your own land, you lost. So now, Christians go to church, Muslims go to the mosque, Jews go to the synagogue. They all talk about their prophecies in their religion. Nobody talks about the prophecy from a maxim, because most people don't even know it. Most people don't even ascribe to the spiritual consciousness from this land, which is a further indication of how lost people are. The prophecy of this land speaks about the birth of the white buffalo, the prophecy of the white buffalo calf woman. I didn't say white woman, I said white buffalo calf. The birth is known as a calf. C-A-L-L-L-F, a calf. The white buffalo calf woman came and brought a prophecy to the 7 sacred flames of the Lakota Sioux over 2,000 years ago. And this prophecy speaks about the birth of the white buffalo. And it says, beware the birth of the white buffalo. For the white buffalo is a sign, the birth of the white buffalo is a sign that mankind has until the 21st day of the 21st year of the 21st century. Beware the birth of the white buffalo. For the birth of the white buffalo is a sign that mankind has until the 21st day of the 21st year of the 21st century to redeem himself before the great purification. Not to prevent the great purification, but to redeem himself before the great purification. Now I want to share with you something, because on the Greco-Roman calendar, in the beginning of the 3rd millennium, which means 2 complete millennium have passed already, 2 complete 1,000-year periods. In every new millennium, there's what is called the pentagram decades. Pentagram decades for the first 5 decades. Each one has a name. Number 1, the decade of from 2000 to 2010 is the decade of enlightenment. Enlightenment as signified by the discovery of the grand unified theorem, the mathematical equation that proves the very existence of so-called God, Nature. That mathematical equation was discovered by a world-renowned physicist named Dr. Gabriel Oyibo. Years ago, Kafra and I had the honor to perform, and I had the honor of hosting a show at City College in New York featuring Dr. Oyibo. And in Dr. Oyibo's words, he said this to me, he said, Makakuvu, the grand unified theorem is contained in the metal nature. I'm gonna say that again. Dr. Oyibo said to me, the grand unified theorem is contained in the metal nature. Somewhere in my archives, I got that VHS tape. So now, January 21st, 2021 is the end of the second decade, which is the decade of redemption. Talking about the pentagram decades. The first decade is decade of enlightenment. The second decade from 2011 to 2010 to 2020 is a decade of redemption. So we're ending the decade of redemption now. Going into, mankind has until the 21st day of the 21st year of the 21st century. January 21st, 2021, the day after the inauguration of whoever wins the presidency. That's the decade that ends, that's the ending of the decade of redemption. The decade of redemption began with the election of Obama in 2008 because there were those who seek to be redeemed from their evil ways. And Obama's presidency continued into the decade of redemption. But there are those who seek not to be redeemed. That's why Satan is in the White House now. Listen to how Satan speaks. Satan does not seek to be redeemed. Satan is a political insurrectionist. It is his job to destroy. That's why he was put into the White House. Witness the destruction of the great Satan, as Ayatollah Khomeini called the United States. This virus, the real virus is mankind. Who went around the world carrying disease and bringing the rats on their ships that they call explorers? Read the document, Dum Diversas, a document that came out of, it's a papal bull. For those who don't know what a papal bull is, it is a church law, an edict, put forth by Pope Nicholas V in 1452. Read that document so you know what they tell you is the purpose of Jesus. That document says that they have the right to go around the world and claim all the lands that they come upon with their ships. That's why when you were in school studying world history and you saw these so-called explorers and conquistadors, conquerors, when they landed, they came on shore, got on one knee and put their flag and the sword in the land. That was a ceremony, claiming the land for the Catholic Church. and doom diverse that says they have the right to do that and to usurp the wealth of the land and put the people, declare them enemies of Jesus. Declare them enemies of Jesus and to put them in slavery into perpetuity forever. And that document is written into the constitutions of many European countries. Of many European countries. So now, see, the Wep Renpet is important because it puts you in the mindset to know where the cosmological energy is going. It is moving toward a Khushite Khametic cosmological birth cycle of the Ma'at dawn, the dawn of truth, Udamaakeryerr. So from 2020 to 2030 is the decade of manifestation. You see, in the decade of redemption, in the January of the decade of redemption, you had the earthquake in Haiti. Everybody said, oh my God, we gotta go help Haiti. They didn't help Haiti. Over 250,000 people killed. Then you had another earthquake in Peru or someplace, Turkey. Then you had the tsunamis in this decade. All of these decades, all of these tragedies gave man an opportunity to redeem himself. See, redemption is not for you. You can't go to church and say, I believe in Jesus and be redeemed. You can't go to the mosque and say, I believe in Muhammad and be redeemed. Your redemption is the work that you do to lift fallen humanity. Therein lies your redemption. So coming out of the decade of redemption, you go to the decade of manifestation from 2020 to 2030. Manifestation means those acts to lift fallen humanity will manifest themselves in the people they were supposed to lift. The decade of manifestation. Watch what happens in this decade. Now, from 2030 to 2040, you got the decade of judgment. Remember, folks, you're still in the Ma'at quadrant. The 42 years on each time construct that constitutes the Khushite Khametic cosmological mathematical equation. I'm talking about spiritual mathematics, folks. I ain't talking about 1 and 1 is 2. I'm talking about spiritual mathematics. So the decade of judgment is still a decade of the grace and mercy of the Most High. They still have time. So from 2040 to 2050 is the decade of retribution. You reap what you sow. From 2050 to 2060 is the dawn of the mind-free consciousness, Udamaakeryerr. Notice I said the mind-free consciousness. See, folks run around talk about freedom. Freedom is a compound word. Freedom means free dominion. Free dominion. That means they can put up a fence and grant you free dominion within the perimeter of that fence. They can develop a mind construct and tell you that you have freedom within the dominion of that mind construct. But you're really not free. Mind-free consciousness, mind-free consciousness with a K. And I use the K. Why? Because the time that the Earth Dalphane galaxy is traveling through in the Savorcum, the roadway in the heavens. See, the galaxy is a living entity. Therein is physical man, is spiritual man. The galaxy is spiritual man. The birth, the spawning from the earth of these buds known as the human form are really parasites. So the Dalsang, the galaxy, so-called Milky Way galaxy, is traveling through a section in the heavens known as the arc, A-R-C, of Cosmos, with a K. You got to research the Cosmos Bible, O Ospe, O for sky, R for earth, and Spe for spirit. Even the word Noah is not a man. Noah is earth, R, moving through the arc, A-R-C, of No. Therein is Noah's ark. You got to break it down, people. Mind-free consciousness, so that you don't bind yourself to the lies that have been propagated against us, so that they can claim our spiritual energy. See, our enslavement has nothing to do with 1619. It has everything to do with us embracing the lie that Ma'at was a crime. Whoa, folks. That's what it is. You don't have to trust me. Look it up for yourself. It's there. It even tells you about the Triune Confederacy. The Triune Confederacy, why Jews and Christians and Muslims are in perpetual combat. Excuse me. Perpetual combat, there's a reason. It has nothing to do with what's happening on earth. What's happening on earth is a consequence of what's happening in the heavens. So I want to break that down because, as Amar said, this is the World Media Coalition. This is our network. This is our first production on Zoom. As we move forward, the Jazz Lovers Television Network is going to spawn out of this. Our people are going to generate our own revenue to produce our own television productions, our own content, based upon just being able to sit home and watch television. And everybody that you bring to our network that becomes a subscriber stakeholder, you get paid for sitting home watching television. And the marketing concept is designed to eliminate poverty amongst our people. That's what this is about. And to bring Ma'at, to bring truth and the resurrection of the consciousness with the K to our people. Cosmon means all that is known and unknown to man will be sufficiently proven. Doing the chair, Udamaakeryerr. I yield back to the talk show host, Ahmad. I'll be back with some more commentary, but I wanted to drop that, folks, so people can adjust their thinking to the mind-free consciousness path of Udamaakeryerr, line of the new dawn.
Udamaakeryerr, Udamaakeryerr, that is always powerful. I've heard this, I've heard it many times. It's internalized, but every time I hear it again, it's always impactful. And it further reiterates the fact that we, whether we like it or not, we are at war. It's a spiritual war, a mental war, an emotional war, and a physical war. And we need to act accordingly. We need to pass on this information to everybody that we know, everybody that's in our communities, our elders, the children. As much as possible, you know, a lot of us walk around with open, blind eyes, walk around with our eyes wide shut. Some of us are actually walking dead. So a lot of times if we try to disseminate and share the knowledge that we have with some of our brothers and sisters, and when I say brothers and sisters, I don't mean just, you know, melanated brothers and sisters. I mean anybody who has the heart and the spirit to accept the truth. You know, we don't discriminate against anybody. That's not what we are, what we're created. We are spiritual beings, and as spiritual beings, we accept all those who are willing to accept their own spirituality. But a lot of times, because people are so engulfed and so unraveled in the lies that have been created and that have been disseminated for the past 2,000 some odd years, they react harshly. So we need to disseminate the information and knowledge with compassion and understanding that, you know, as Brother Malcolm said, at one point we didn't think the way that we think now. So we need to understand that some people aren't exactly at the point that we are now. So when we share this knowledge and we share this information, they take it with a grain of salt, and we give it with a spoonful of sugar and hope that they understand. And we ask that the Nachair take the other half of the journey for them. And it is highly important that we share as much as possible, in somewhat as covertly as possible. I don't know if you know, maybe you don't understand what I'm saying, but personal example, I come from, I have a preacher standpoint, and I tell this to a lot of my friends and my brothers and sisters, that when somebody gives me the opening, I go for it. And I'll talk forever. You know, I'll go, and I'm very passionate about it. I have a lot of energy when I speak, and it often seems like I'm preaching, and I get riled up and I get excited, and my emotion builds up, and people are like, man, you sound like a preacher. It's not that. It's more of that I feel the information, I feel the truth, and I feel the spirit that always pushes me. So I let that spirit push me. I don't try to fight it. I don't try to contain it. I just let it go. So a lot of people see that. It throws a lot of people off. It pushes a lot of people back, and a lot of people fight back against it. I don't have the control to not do that yet. I'm hoping that one day I will, and I'll be able to spread the knowledge accordingly, and to a point where people will accept it and not be defensive against it. And I'm working on that. But as we spread this knowledge and spread the consciousness, the Udamaakeryerr consciousness, the Duat and Share, we need to be aware of that. We need to be aware of how we say things to certain people, who we're speaking to, and use our own personal discernment to understand where that person is. Use the mood in us, you know, the divine feminine nature in us, to understand and be compassionate with that person, that individual. And we don't have to be speaking to a mass number of people. We don't have to speak to 2,000 people. We can be speaking to one person. We can pass the knowledge on, and that other person can pass that knowledge on to 2 people, and those 2 people can pass it on to 2 more people. And that's all we need. So when we do that, when we spread what we know, when we spread what we understand, and we let our people know that we were here before was BCE, before Christ's resurrection, after Amino Domini, the Poise, afterwards. We were here before all of that. They came in and decided that, hey, we're going to reset your clocks. We're going to change your language. We're going to change the way that you respond to your world, which is exactly what they're doing now with this pandemic. They're changing how we relate to each other. They're changing how we relate to the world. They're closing us off from nature, from nature, to try to control us more. And we, as a people, as spiritual beings, beyond the flesh that we see and we can touch, we need to be aware of that, and we need to be able to pass that on to even the youngest of the young that are being born, you know, because they are young. They have an amazing capacity, you know, and something that we have yet to understand, that we may not ever understand. The human potential that these youngsters, these new beings coming onto the planet has is amazing. So our job now is to pass our information, pass what we know, pass what we understand, pass what we feel on to others, and let the Nature do what the Nature must do with that individual person.
Patah is trying to get into the room. Do you see his name up there? Let him in the room. He just texted me. Let me check and see what name he's under. But he just texted me that he's not able to get into the room. You need to let him in because he wants to bring his message. And
could you ask him to leave the room and come back in, because I didn't see him pop up.
Okay, let me text him.
Udamaakeryerr.
Udamaakeryerr.
I'm grateful for the opportunity to address you, my royal minister, Makukuvu Ali El-Bey, and those in attendance. I have a prepared statement I'd like to share. Through the Office of Prime Minister of Admarium, I am Sister Bridget Muhammad Ali, in submission to the will of Regent Samora Debayere, and authorized by our sovereign princess, Ragina Mayatiana Debayere. We express deep appreciation and encouragement and continued oneness in submission to the right guidance of Mayat. Admarium pledges to support and propagate this universal and life-enriching message and lesson worldwide. And we pledge our energy, which is our greatest unit of exchange, to support the aims and objectives and goals of what is being presented here today. And we look forward to the recording for continued study. And I, on behalf of Admarium, express love and appreciation. Udamaakeryerr.
Udamaakeryerr.
Udamaakeryerr, Your Excellency. It is a pleasure to have our nation of Admarium at the table. It is important, extremely important, that our people absorb the reality of our existence. And that reality has been shrouded in the false labels of Negro, Black, African American, colored, and nigger, Indian, Puerto Rican. All those false labels have shrouded from our eyes, the ma'at of our existence. As Ahmad said, I use the term sleeping with your eyes open. And the vibratory frequency of spiritual liberation, the most intense element of that frequency is to cause your uchat, your third eye, to open. See, it's the Kemetic Yurit, the serpent crown. Let me clarify what this is. This ain't a snake. It is representative of the galaxy. When you have the opportunity to research the book, O Aspe, the Cosmo and Bible, O for sky, A for earth, Spe for spirit, it gives you the absorption of the meaning of 666. 666 does not represent Satan. 666 means that the galaxy is 2/3 of the way coiled. That's what that means. This represents the galaxy and your uchat, so-called third eye. There's a vibratory frequency that N uses in the Rekati Kemetic, in the Het Nacher Shishini Hechan Nub, Kera Aminra, Rekati Kemetic, the Kemetic mind science. Het Nacher Shishini Hechan Nub, Kera Aminra, temple of the white and gold lotus. And that vibratory frequency is Udamaakeryerr Undakim Eska Ra Uba. Udamaakeryerr Undakim Eska Ra Uba. Udamaakeryerr Undakim Eska Undakim Eska Ra Uba. Udamaakeryerr Eska Ra Uba. Udamaakeryerr Undakim Eska Ra Uba. That means Lion of the New Dawn Sun. Undakim is the spiritual name of the sun. Undakim Eska Ra Uba, Udamaakeryerr, Lion of the New Dawn Sun, heals and strengthens the uchat. The uchat. Now, how do you use that vibratory frequency? When you use the Undakim vibratory frequency, you are looking directly into Undakim. See, I tell you, you look into the sun, you go blind. Do I look blind to you? I look into the Undakim almost daily. There's a thing called the kiss of Ra. When you do the Undakim meditation, first of all, you can see the planet bouncing around once you go through the light density. But more importantly, the kiss of Ra is after you've looked away from Undakim for about 3 minutes, everything has a golden haze over it. You see a golden haze on the clouds. You see a golden haze on concrete. That is the kiss of Ra. Udamaakeryerr Undakim Eska Ra Uba. Udamaakeryerr Undakim Eska Ra Uba. Udamaakeryerr Undakim Eska Ra Uba. See, the vibratory frequency of spiritual liberation is based upon the 7 principles of the Kabbalion. See, when you go to church, they tell you God created the heavens and the earth in 7 days. Really? No. No. First and foremost, there is a 25,000 year construct. So in the creation of the universe, 24,000 years is one day. In the Kabbalion, it teaches you the 7 principles of the Kabbalion. The first principle is mentalism. The second principle is rhythm. The third principle is polarity, as above, so below. The fourth principle is correspondence. I'm sorry, polarity is the law of the opposites. Correspondence is as above, so below. The fifth principle is vibration. The sixth principle is cause and effect. And the seventh principle is gender. So now if there's a 25,000 year construct and that equals one day, then 7 times 100 times 25,000 is the time it took to bring about creation. And creation is still evolving. So when you study the Khametic Kemetic, the Kemetic mind science, you see the Moors like to talk about, well, they're the keepers of the Egyptian mystery system. Really? The Moors are the custodians of the Egyptian mystery system. Well, number one, custodians have the keys to the building, correct? If you're the custodian, you got the keys to every room in the building. The keys to the construct is the Khametic Kemetic, the language. The Moors don't know the language. So how can you be the keepers of the so-called Egyptian mystery system? When they say the Egyptian mystery system, I automatically know they don't know what they're talking about. Because it ain't a mystery, and it ain't Egypt, because Egypt is an English translation of a Greek word, Egyptus, Aegyptus, that means black people. Kemet don't mean black people. Nubia don't mean black people. Listen to this. The het nacher shashini hech ha nub. Nub, N-U-B, as in Nubia. N-U-B, nub means gold. It don't mean black. Nubia means land of gold. So when they say the Egyptian mystery system, not the Khametic Kemetic, the Kemetic mind science, they're lying to you. They're lying to you. The Moors talk about Noble Drew Ali. And I tell them, I'm a Moor. I'm a Moorish ambassador. I tell them in a minute, in 100 years since Noble Drew Ali, Moors don't have a damn thing. Don't have nothing. They want nothing about I, self, Lord, master. That's the confusion, because they all think they're self, Lord, master. Master of what? White folks don't respect that. So to reclaim your nationality is to reclaim your consciousness with the K. And did Patar come on yet? Did you see him come up?
No, he didn't pop up yet.
Let me call that brother, see what the problem is. Because he needs to talk about, he just called me. He needs to talk about this. And this is what Your Excellency, the Prime Minister, Sister Bridget spoke about. This is the Rosarian time construct that deals with the beginning month of the Kemetic year, which is the month that we're in now, that enters in now, which is the month of Jehuti, known as August.
Awesome.
I see you clapping, Sister Bridget. So let me see if I can get Patar. And because I want to make sure we can get him in the call.
Okay, yeah, see if he can come back in.
Okay.
Udamaakeryerr. Since we
Udamaakeryerr.
have a brief interlude, I wanted to acknowledge that our provisional Chief Justice is in attendance. Provisional Chief Justice Silver Ali El Bay, she's also present, and that's very significant as we are discussing the losses from
You have a
Wyatt.
couple good names?
For Ab Murkhut, she is the head justice helping us to administer justice within our talismanic kingdom. I yield.
He said he ain't seen
Right.
it. Hey,
Computer says, it says, what is your name? I said, yes. It says, okay.
can you hear him,
That
Milan?
transfers it over to him.
Yeah, I can hear him. I don't actually see him.
What names do you see? Do you see Patah? BTAH?
PTAH.
No.
I don't know
Does
what.
he see Ramutep? Does he see Ramutep?
Do you see Ramutep?
No. It's not
Okay,
showing
let me-
anybody that's trying to get in. It's only showing people that are already in the meeting.
How come I can't get in the meeting? I don't understand.
I don't understand that either. He said it's only showing people who are already in the meeting.
Yeah. I don't see anybody that's trying to get in.
Okay,
On the top right-hand side of the
Well, we can hear him if he doesn't mind. We can hear him we can hear the phone in the video.
he
if he
said
can
he
speak.
can hear the phone in the video. So go ahead and do a presentation on the Rosarian group, and I'll put the calendar up so people can see it.
Oh, they can hear me?
They can hear you. Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, well, para tapo pamana, queste gero, kuja seme, bubina pike, pande boru, mahadi, to you, my ramet. Heru-U Renpet, Happy New Year's to everybody. Happy New Year's on the East Coast, Northern Southern Hemisphere.
Now, but Renpet.
My name is Patal Sikasa. I am the Royal Scribe, Master Craftsman, and Keeper of Time of Tesha Paral, Holy House of Ra. And I am the Chief Executive Officer of the Nagatian Institute of Cosmic Awareness, Spiritual Consciousness, and Universal Enlightenment, and the Nagaship Association. I want to welcome everybody to this divine meeting here of the Renpet, the rising of Uben Sopdet, and this is a celebration and tribute to our great divine transition, Hemtep, High Priest of the White and Gold Lotus Temple, Shrine of Amen Ra, Hedi Kapra. And to everyone I say, dua, dua, dua.
Right.
In order to balance us all into this divine new age order, the great golden age of Mana Biasa, to the proper frequency, which is a first frequency specifically, Ra Nebateshara, I shall address the ancient ones, the ancestors, and the Patnatarus, so that I may have permission to speak before the Ramets, before the family. And I shall begin. Hetepu, dua, 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 anezarek, Ramet, Hotep. Greetings and divine greatness, divine excellence to the first families. My Nagas, my Shensurus, my Neskubitis, my Hemets, my Sibas, Sibats, Munatats, the immortal ones of Ma'at, cherished, phenomenon of precession, New Age order, great golden age, Amada Piasa, and all citizens, descendants of the Nile Valley, cultural, cosmic, collective consciousness, spirituality. Oh, Ast, Patnataru, Panebu, the mother of the Natarus, the mistress of Pet, the maker of mankind, she who is mighty in Usa Metu Nefe Hekau, divine words of power, mother of all initiations. Bless us humble servants for Ankh, life now present, for we seek the counsel of the ancient ones and practice daily the ancient Ma'atin ways and ancient Ma'atin truths. We strive evermore to become one with thee in this world and in the existence to come. We ask that you bless us on this, the 10th day of the year after the heliacal rising. 350 days remaining until Uben Sopdet, Sirius rising, Upawat, Samatawi, Wep Renpet Wep, New Year's celebration. The 2nd day of Ra, the 10th day of the first month of Jehuti, the 10th day of the first month of the first season of Shemu, year number 10, AFNK/ST, after the founding of New Kemet, Naga Kemet, Samatawi, phenomenon of precession, New Age order, Great Golden Age, Amada Biasar. We ask that you bless our families and friends and all those of us who gather together to worship in your most holy, sacred, and glorious ancient Khamerian name of Aster Mufatadru Panebu. For in the act of seeking you, there is much comfort. So as it is spoken, so let it be written, so let it be done, so shall it be, for now and forever forward. Ra, never Teshara, Panata, Abu Pamaat, Unkwas Jet, Uncle Giles Neb, Uben Nefikia Panebu Haru Ma'ati, rising always in divine excellence with Ma'at, every day, all day. Dua, dua, dua. Heru-U Renpet. Happy New Year's, everybody.
Wep Renpet Wep
Renpet
Udamaakeryerr.
Dua Mutatat, Queen Mother Goddess, As, Mary Amen. Dua, Queen Mother Goddess.
Otep Nisarak, Patar Sekar Asar.
So, to keep this moving, I have the platform at this. Do I have the platform to speak right now?
Yes,
Yes,
speak
sir.
about the Masarian solar calendar.
Yes, I speak upon the Rosarian solar cycle lunar calendar and the Neptuniological star timeline. So, I just said that this is year number 10. Now, the year 6,240 Samatawi was great. It was a great contribution back in the 60s and the 70s and in the 80s and even in the year 2000. But we have now dawned upon the great golden age of Amada Biasar, and it is imperative that we all know how to tell cosmic time. Now, I am humbly honored to those who came up with that mathematical equation back when we didn't know nothing. But right now, those of us that have an eye to see and ear to hear and understanding heart can see that there is a gap. We have to be able to triangulate our cultural, cosmic, collective conscious spirituality, with the sacred mathematics, the divine science, with astrology and astronomy, and with our cultural, cosmic, collective consciousness spirituality. We must begin to triangulate. So what that Hesse I just did was to help you balance yourself and to triangulate yourself and to align yourself with the star Ra, the star Sopdet, with our planet Earth, Seb, with the constellation of Orion and the constellation of the Pleiades. These are the stars that govern our movement around the phenomenon of precession. So with this star grid, we have a 9-day week. And with the 9-day week, the mother equation is 8,766 hours for the star Sopdet to break the horizon, to traverse the elliptic plane and return to its original position in respect to the fixed stars. It takes 8,766 hours. This means that there are 3 motions of the Earth. The Earth rotates on its axis 24 hours and 35 minutes. There's 35 extra minutes that split between the twat and the twat. The latter being the difference between sunrise and sunset. So now, with this mathematical equation, the second movement of the Earth is the Earth revolves around the sun. And on the 24 hours and 35-minute daily orbit of the Earth, the rotation around the sun is 360 days. And that means the third motion is that the Earth is tilted off of its axis 23.5 degrees, which makes the Earth wobble. These are the 3 motions. This wobble is called the precession of equinox, or the phenomenon of precession. So one complete wobble of the Earth is 26 years. And this is where history cannot go any further. So I'm not here to discuss his story. I'm here to discuss our story. I am an our story, and all I'm here to do is help you remember. Everything I'm telling you, you already know. You just have a bad case of memory loss. You have amnesia. So the reason why you have amnesia is because of the Gregorian calendar on your wall and the watch that is on your arm. They're both orientated to Greenwich Mean Time and Universal Time coordinated. So if the Earth rotates on its axis 24 hours and 35 minutes, and it revolves around the sun 360 days, and is tilted 23.5 degrees from vertical, then that means that the Earth is wobbling, and that's how we move to the phenomenal precession, or the 12 signs of the zodiac. So with this in mind, we understand that there's a perfect calendar. There's only one problem. There's only 6 forms of life on the planet: plant, insects, reptiles, water creatures, birds that fly, and animal. Man and woman does not exist. Enter calendar number 2 of our ancient African indigenous primordial ancestors, which is called the Jehuti calendar. And in the Jehuti calendar, each day is 24 hours long, just like it is today. Today, the hours are 24 hours. And there's 24 hours in one rotation of the Earth, which means the revolution around the sun would be 365 1/4 days. This is because mankind was allowed to populate the Earth. Because the Earth Neter and Nut, the Sky Neter, would give birth to the Earth Neterus. Because Jehuti wages with Ra for an allotment of time, because all time was already allotted for. So when Jehuti won that 35 minutes, he multiplied it 360 times, and he came up with 5 1/4 days. These 5 1/4 days are the days that the Earth Neteru was born. And the firstborn was Heru-U. And Heru-U was thinking he was personified with the human body with 2 heads, the head of Heru and the head of Sut, or Set. The next born was Asa, or Asa Unepakentiameti, but first he was known as Asa. The third born was named Sut, or Set. The fourth born was named Ast, and the fifth born was named Nethead. So we must be able to collect and balance our cultural, cosmic, collective conscious spirituality, because we have no religion. We have a cultural spirituality that was based upon the doctrines of Ma'at and the concept of self-creation. This means that history never comes into the picture. We have made this movement around the sun and through the phenomenal precessions hundreds and thousands of millions of times before this. This is not our first waltz. This is not our first dance. So we have to remember our ancestors have already written this in stone. So how do I know that this is year number 10? We know this is year number 10 because on the spring equinox on the Gregorian calendar on March 21st, and even if we omit the Gregorian calendar, the spring equinox only indicates when day and night are equal. Okay, but I'm only using the Gregorian calendar to give the layman some type of connection that they can tether themselves to for a second. Now, on the spring equinox, just before the sun rises, the constellation of Pisces, the circle that's at the top of the constellation of Pisces, has fell below the horizon. And it fell below the horizon, meaning it will never be in the sky for another 24,000 years. Whether we're here or not, it will not be visible in the spring equinox for another 24,000 years. The constellation that you will see if you look directly to the east and look up 23.5 degrees, you'll see the constellation which the Europeans call Aquarius. We call Aquarius Ab Ma'at Abiyasa. I come up with this name was derived between me, Riketia Men, Mefundishi, and mainly Samaj Pata, Baba Heru. Because we know that Aquarius was an air sign, but Aquarius is a water bearer. So because it was a water bearer, and when the water pours out on you and washes you, you become cleansed. So it became an age of Ma'at. We know because Pisces is Set, and if Set is Pisces, 2 fishes going in opposite direction, which really indicates the binary dance between Cyrus and Ra, has a binary dance that they do. And because of this, we know the next sign has to be, if the Set is Pisces, Asa has to be Aquarius, and we know that the water sign is Hapi, so we call it Ma'at Hapi Asab. Right at this moment, we're still think tanking this right now, and we're looking for us Kemetic family, the Ramets, to come together so that we can. I redesigned all the names. I renamed all the names of the Gregorian or Hellenistic paradigm doctrines of ancient humanity within the European concept of the zodiac, and to its original primordial meta names. And we can discuss that if you want at a later time. We can have another Zoom meeting to discuss that. I'm very open to reconcile with my Kemetic brothers. Right now, I'll have to let you know that I've been banished from the Kemetic community because I say there's 9 days in a week. Before the Romans and the Greeks, there were 9 days in every week. It was kept by charting stars that were visible on our calendar, aware of the movement of the earth, stars, and moon. These ancient African indigenous primordial ancestral peoples were cosmically attuned. So we know there's 9, everybody on this planet knows that there's 9 days in a week. The only one that doesn't know is melanated people, is black people. If you're supposed to be a scholar or a theologian or an ecclesiastic person who has done the due diligence and did the research, you would know that the Gregorian calendar only can count back to 754 BCE. They call AUC. Please write that down. Ab Murkhut, A-B-U-R-B-E, Gotita, C-O-R-D-I-T-A, which means in Latin, upon the founding of the city of Rome. That's called first calendar reform. Now, the reason why they have to reform the calendar, because on the Gregorian calendar, or any calendar that has a 7-day week, an 8-day week, or a 10-day week, is based upon the cycles of the moon. So the Kemetic calendar that you have today has 10 days in a week. And if it has 10 days in a week, that means it has 3 weeks in a month. And if it has 3 weeks in a month, that means there's 30 days in every month. And if there's 30 days in every month, it means it's a lunar cycle calendar because it takes the moon 29.5 days to go through its cycles. So this is very simple mathematics. So I'm presenting that mathematics to the people. The people can decide. Because most of us were all suffering from some form of PTSS, post-traumatic slave syndrome. We've all been affected by this Hellenistic paradigm doctrines of education that we receive. For this reason, it's important that we attack this full on and on straight ahead. So now we know if you Google 754 BCE, AUC, first calendar reform, Eratosthenes Aristarchus. Calendar reform number 2 goes down to 310 BCE, which is called the Decree of Canopus 1, 2, and 3, which is done by the Ptolemies. Ptolemy the first, Ptolemy the third, and Ptolemy the fifth. Then we have calendar reform number 5, which is 46 BCE, which is the Julian calendar, which is the calendar that you have on your wall today. Okay? And Julius Caesar, he rolls up on Sosthenes, who is the vizier of Cleopatra. He says, I'm Caesar. Yo vine, yo vere, yo veci. I came, I saw, I conquered. So he said, put me on the map. So we went from 9 days in a week to 8. We went from 10 months to the year to 11. Julius got assassinated in the Senate. Then he came Tiberius. Then came Augusta. Augusta rolls up on Sosthenes. He says, I'm Caesar. Put me on the map. So we went from 8 days to 7. We went from 11 months to 12. We know this is true because July is Julius Caesar. August is Augustus Caesar. So originally there was 9 days in a week. There was only 10 months in a year. So now our calendar, the Rasarian Kemetic solar system lunar calendar, and the Heru-logical star timeline. See, we follow a Heru-logical star timeline. They follow a chronological timeline. A chronological timeline falls into the New World Order. So in order for us to survive this New World Order onslaught, we have to embrace our cultural, cosmic, collective conscious spirituality with the Heru-logical star timeline, which we can trace our divine birthright back to from our birth mother to our maternal mother of Am, or our birth father to our paternal father of Asar, which can go back over 5 to 10 million years ago. They're telling us that our history is only 5,000 years old. Maybe his story might be 5,000 years old, but our story is 10 million years old. And we can prove this using a methodological start timeline. Again, back to the point that I started at the beginning, how can I say this is year number 10? Because in 2012, the constellation of Pisces was no longer visible on the equinox, indicating that we have entered into a new golden age, which is the age of Aquarius or Star.
Doing the chair, my brother. Let me stop you there so we can close out the program. Amar, I thank you, Sabah, the chair Tapi, Bata, Sakir.
Dua.
I thank you very much, doing the chair. I turn the program back over to the host, Amar. This is our first World Media Coalition production. And I just want to open the floor up for a few more minutes and get some feedback from whoever wants to offer after Amar takes the program back over.
Thank you. Dua Nachir, Dua, everybody, Dua Makukuvu, Dua Set Mauri, Dua Pata, Dua everybody who participated. This has been a great event, first event. Very proud of all of us to have come through. And if anybody has any questions or any comments, the floor is open to you. You can turn off your microphone and say whatever you want to say. The floor is it's on you.
Any comments from anyone, Prime Minister or said or Silver?
Anybody?
Can we please get a retake? Can we get another? You know, the star rose in Giza. The star rose originally on 30 longitude, 30 latitude on the Nordic meridian on July 25th on the Gregorian calendar. We celebrated on the 3rd of August because it's visible to the naked eye on the eastern coast, northern southern hemisphere. It will also appear to the naked eye on August the 10th on the west coast. That means Seattle, Washington, California. There, everyone will be able to see this star, the sun, rise together. So we have to celebrate it. I celebrated it on July the 25th on Black Ice TV and over at the Museum of the National Center of Afro-American Artists on 300 Walnut Ave, the Royal Burial Chamber of Nesopithia Sparta, which I erected that tomb room over 40 years ago. Now, we just did this one tonight, and I am honored to be on the platform. I was hoping that we can also resume again to do another broadcast on the 10th for the brothers and sisters on the West Coast, so that we all could come together in the spirit of the Samatawi. That is what I'm asking for.
Okay, we have a question from Sister Silver. Is that a question you wanted to ask, Silver? And I'm gonna table that suggestion for a moment, if you don't mind, Patar.
Dua.
Silver, are you there? Well, it's good to hear your voice. Welcome.
Dua, Queen Mother Goddess. My great Queen Mother Goddess.
Anyone else? Prime Minister?
Peace and blessings. Brother, I had to step away for a moment to attend to a young one. I'm not aware of what's being asked.
No, I just wanted to get some feedback. Did you have anything you wanted to share before we close out? Sister Ilyafa?
Only that my soul is nourished, and I look forward to our sharing.
Awesome.
Dua.
Sister Ilyafa?
I just want to say I appreciate listening to the perspectives. I knew some of the information already about, especially the Kabbalion and the source of the Kemetic source of the science of the beginning and the mysteries. So I was glad to see the combination of everything, you know. I happen to be cooking in the kitchen.
That's a good thing.
And with
Listening.
that, we turn the program back over to the host.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes. Do
Hello?
it, too.
Yes, I like to say in the spirit of Hedi Kapra, I like to sing one of his songs, even though I can't sing. But the song goes to the Ra Orchestra of Hedi Kapra in the White Gold Lotus Temple, Shrine of Amen Ra. It goes, everybody rise, rise for something, something's rising. I said, everyone should know their past. I said, everyone should know, but they don't know nothing. And they just keep running. You gotta bow your head to Africa. You gotta bend your head down low. She's our mother. You don't get no other. Everybody rise. Everybody rise. Rise for something. Thank you very much.
Doing the chair.
Doing the chair. That was awesome.
Doing the chair.
Let me just share one quick thing as well. Can everybody see this?
Yes.
This is the pyramid matrix. This is of the scribe of Hedi Kapra. This is his book that Murkhut was speaking about earlier. This takes you through all of the Kemetic spiritual construct or the deities. And everyone, this book is available, or Set will be getting the links out to people. And I'm not sure what the price is right now, but everyone should gather this book in their library because it takes you through all of the deities from Amen to Osset. This is the pyramid matrix chart. And the pyramid matrix chart is also a meditation chart, a Kai chart. So again, all of us will gather again. This is the World Media Coalition. And I thank you, Ahmad. You can take us out if you like.
Do I.
So,
I appreciate everybody. Do I ensure for everybody. And we will advise you on the next World Media Coalition presentation. Makuvu and I will discuss with Patah to do it on the 10th, which would be next week. It's a possibility. So look out for your emails or a message from us if we decide to do it. You will be contacted. Share this, please. We're recording the video. We're gonna open up a World Media Coalition channel on YouTube, so this can be shared later on a later date. Please share it, let your friends know, let your family know, so that this presentation can grow. And with that being said, I greet you in the spiritual vibration of our future and our present and our past, bringing all things together. Udamaakeryerr.
Udamaakeryerr.
Doing the chair.